All right, so I am working in model space, and I said I was going to talk to you about the paper space and printing. So you go to the layout tab here, and it's basically, if I right click on that layout tab, I'm going to rename it right now, and I'm going to say Topo plan. Okay. Right click again and go to Page Setup Manager. In there, this dialog box pops up, and you can see it's 8.5 by 11. I'm going to modify that, and I am going to do general documentation, and I am going to change that. Let's go ahead and do a full bleed Arch D 36 by 24 sheet of paper. Okay. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to go to grayscale for right now. I am going to do plot transparency because I use transparencies quite a bit, and I'm leaving these two for right now. Okay. And then I'm going to go okay and close. Now, this is a 24 by 36 sheet of paper. You don't have a title block in here, but you do have the option to get a title block. I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to think. Do I want to go ahead and show you title blocks now or later? Okay, real quick, title blocks now. So I am going to save this. And I've already named mine end of lab 2. So I'm working toward the end of the lab 2 exercise. So I am going to go to the, up here where it says C3D, and I want you to go new. So I'm going to go new drawing, and what happens, it pops out a template, okay? I'm going to use the template, like the plan and productions template, plan only imperial, because I'm going to steal this template so I can do the title block, because I don't feel like drawing the title block, and I want a specific one. So I'm going to open that up. Okay, so I'll show you again. So I'm going to go over here to the C3D, and I'm going to go new. When I go new, it follows a certain path that goes to your templates. I am going to go to the plan production, and I'm going to use the plan only. Okay, use imperial, please, and then open. Now, we have the option of having different scales down here, right? What I want to do is I am going to copy. I'm going to go ahead and do a, I think a 20 scale actually works for this drawing. If I'm wrong, I can change it. So I'm going to click on the tab that says 20 scale. Okay, so these are the various types. I'm going to use Arc D because Arc E is a different size. I'm using Arc D, and I'm going to use a 20 scale. Okay, now I'm going to left. I don't know if y'all remember your windows. So I'm going to pick a corner, left click, and then I'm just dragging my mouse down to the right and left click again. It picks everything. Now I am going to go right click, copy clipboard, and I'm going to copy. Now I'm going to switch back to this our drawing of lab 2, and I'm in the paper space of this, and you can right click clipboard. Paste to original coordinates is what I usually use when I'm in model space. When I'm in paper space, I come up here and use paste, and I paste. You can paste as a block or just paste. I'm going to click paste. It asks for a specific point. I'm going to type in 0, 0. And boom, there is my title block. Okay. Now this is called a viewport. The viewport allows me to see what's in the model space. The other thing you can grip edit the viewport. This here is also a viewport. So watch, I'm going to delete this green one. I can't see anything. And the reason I can't see anything is because the viewport is locked. It's at 20 scale, but it's locked. It's locked in the wrong view. So I'm going to unlock it by clicking this little lock symbol. Now, when I double click on the inside, I can scroll out or type in Z, enter, E, enter, zoom extents, and boom, right? Now I can see it, but it's not at the right scale, and I can do this when it's unlocked. Now, I come over here, and I can click on the 20 scale, all right? All right, I lied. The 20 scale does not work unless I rotate the view, okay? But I can get the 30 scale to work. So I'm going to use a 30 scale. There's no right or wrong. 30 works, 40 works, 50 works, 60 works. Something that's on a triangular ruler or scale. Now I'm going to lock it back, okay? Now, when I do that and I double click on the inside, now watch. When I'm using my little scroll button, nothing scrolls. I can double click and I use my scroll button and it just scrolls back and forth. That's what the lock and unlock does. Always remember to lock to a scale, okay? Now I'm going to show you one more thing. So I'm going to unlock it. So you have to click on the viewport. Now, let's say accidentally my viewport is gone, okay? I am going to go to the home and I'm going to create a layer. And I'm going to call it 0-FAU-viewport. And I'm going to make it current. Okay. So I am going to now create a viewport. If you accidentally delete your viewport, the command is mview. And I pick from point to point, left pick. Now, it's not to a scale. So I still have to go and pick the scale, the 30 scale, and lock it. Okay. Now, what if I did want this to be, instead of at an odd angle, and I wanted the north to be kind of pointing toward the west, so to rotate the drawing to make it a little cleaner. Watch what happens. If I unlock this, and I type in DView, and I hit enter, I type in TW for twist, hit enter, and I'm going to type in 90 degrees, hit enter, okay? So 90 degrees isn't the perfect rotation, and depending on how you want the north arrow to look. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to type in DView, enter, twist, and I'm going to say 80 degrees. Enter, enter. I'm close. I don't always know what degree to put, so I tend to estimate. I'm going to do it again. DView, enter, enter, twist, and I'm going to say 75. Enter, enter. That looks good, right? Now, double click on the outside. Now, this is a block, all right? We know the north arrow should be pointing in the different direction. So I'm going to delete that. I'm going to come up here. It should be on the layout tab. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to pick a north arrow. You can pick any north arrow you want. I just happen to like that one. I click on the viewport and I pick a point. Now this north arrow is going to be awfully tiny. So I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to change it to a 10 scale to see what, okay, it's going to be definitely bigger than that. So I'm going to do 50. I don't always have the right answers when I first start, guys. Just letting you know. So that's still really tiny. So 100. Go big or go home. Okay, 1,000 is too big. So do 500. Do 100. Do 50. I should have started with 50 to begin with. 50 and 50. Okay, that's too big. So I'm going to go 25. I should know these things right off the top of my head, but I don't. I won't lie. There we go. There is a nice north arrow. Problem is, it's not a 20 scale. It's a 30 scale. This is a dynamic block. I can change to any of these scales. I like dynamic blocks, just FYI. All right. So now that looks good, and the orientation looks good. I could change this scale. And let's say I'm not locked. Let's say I try the 20 scale. Okay, the 20 scale fits perfect now. since I've rotated it. So I'm going to lock it back, and I am going to use the 20 scale, but I need to change this and go to 20 scale. Okay. Now, this is part of the surveyor's job to make everything look nice. I'm going to move this down. M for move. So there, that looks pretty good. This, however, looks bad. It does not rotate like it should. Okay. So I'm going to type in regen. All right. We click on this. It says that it's annotative. So I may end up not using the annotative. Annotative typically means that when you go to this plan, everything turns 90 degrees. So if I click on this, I can see it's annotative, standard, and there's a rotation. The rotation that I used was 75. Okay, that doesn't work here. So I'm going to go 90. Give me 1 second. So 360 minus 75. 285. Okay, I use 285, and see, this is why a lot of the surveyors hate the annotative. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to turn the annotative off, and I am going to change that style back here and go modify. And I am not going to use the annotation. Okay, just FYI. I'm going to do it like most surveyors do. But the problem is, see how tiny it is now? Teeny tiny. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to the leader, modify. So we said our scale is 20. If I want a text height of 0.08, so I'm going to take 0.08 times 20. So the text height needs to be 1.6. So I'm going to change that to 1.6. And the content, the text height should be 1.6. Okay, set current, close. I may end up having to retype this. Notice it's over here, 1.6. Sometimes what you've already drawn does not hold the style that you make the modification to. All right, so the other thing is your text height and your arrow. See this arrow, the leader right here? The arrowhead size 0.08. That should be 1.6. Okay. Now, here's the thing: is I am going to also notice my rotation here. It's got an odd angle. My crosshairs. I'm going to type in snap ang, and I'm going to type in 75. Okay. Snap ang 90. I'm sorry, it should have been 285. Okay, so the reason it's 285 is take 360 minus 75 is 285. So 285. There's my ortho. I'm showing you a lot of information because nothing's ever perfect in rotation. So I'm showing you a lot of different things in this exercise. All right, so now the other thing is in the standard, let's say I do another leader line, a label. I am going to go back to model. Here is the label. So I'm going to click here. I am going to pick this and pick out here, and I'm going to say storm manhole. This will have a rim elevation of 125.91. Okay. Now, look how this looks versus this. Okay. So there's also another command. When I'm not active in the model viewport, it'll be this color here. If I double click on the out, see how it goes a little bit darker or more green or whatever color you use. It's bolder. Okay, here's another command. MA for match properties. MA. So I'm going to pick this as my source, and I want this to look like it. Wow, I can't match that property. Really? Okay. So I would have to come over here and actually type in 285. And I am going to drag this out here. Okay. Now I'm going to double click on the outside, and you can see I've gone to paper space here. If I double click on the inside, you can see I'm in the model space here. I'm going to click on the outside and go paper space. I want to show you what I mean by height. If I do the aligned and I measure the height of the text, and I'm just eyeballing this. So from here, F8 to get my ortho on, to here, and I pull it out to this side. Look at the height, 0.08. Again, I'm just all eyeballing this. So I know it's going to print at a height of 0.08. Now, and the reason I say this and I'm showing you this much is because it makes for a nice set of plans. You don't want to get into your job and go, oh, the plans look bad. Okay, so I'm going to go to the model tab. All right, I'm going to turn the aerial off for right now. And I just noticed, I think I'm missing part of a sidewalk. Go to properties, send the sidewalk to the top. Apply and okay. Okay, I knew I was missing part of one. So I'm going to click on this, go to home, make that current. When I'm clicked on something and I tell it to make it current, it'll switch to that. So I'm going to turn on the snaps, turn off my ortho. I'm going to type in EX for extend, and I'm going to click on this so it extends the sidewalk to it. Okay. There should have been a sidewalk connected to here because I know that this connects, and I'm going to say perpendicular to that line. It really should have been connected like that. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause here, and then we'll look at labeling information, what information needs to go on, and then we'll move on to surfaces.